This week in a conversation, I have the honor to receive out of Dubai, author Sreedhar Bevara. We're going to be talking about his fantastic book titled The Warring Lambs. But before we get in this very interesting video, I just want to remind you that it's important to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you do, don't forget to click the notification bell so that way every time a video is posted, it'll go directly into your portal. So let's get started.
Are you a strong lion or a timid lamb?
This is Sreedhar Bevara, who has written some very remarkable books. An amazing sort of rags to riches story in his own right, which many of you should know.
Yeah, you see the book beside me.
We have Mr. Sreedhar Bevara.
Sreedhar Bevara. Thank you so much.
Again, my name is Ardain Isma, and I'm here this morning or this evening with author Sreedhar Bevara. We're going to be talking about his compelling book, The Warring Lambs. Interesting. But before we get into The Warring Lamb, I just want to say, Sreedhar, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Ardain. Looking forward.
Okay, so would you please tell the viewers of CSMS Magazine who is Sreedhar Bevara?
Thank you, and I'm quite excited to be part of your the magazine and the conversation with you.
Okay, would you please give us a little bit of who is Sreedhar Bevara, a little bit of intro of yourself, and you know, as we always do in the show, we ask authors to give a little bit of who they are and where they came from.
Well, currently I am the founder and the chief executive officer of BMR Innovations. It's a management and tech consulting firm, headquarters in Dubai. We have operations in a couple other countries that includes India. But until recently, I was a corporate executive. I have worked as the senior general manager for the Panasonic Corporation. That was the headquarters based in the Dubai for the Middle East and Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been here in Dubai for the last 20 years. I have worked in India for a few more years. I think altogether, almost 25, 27 years I've been working.
Wow.
That's
a pretty powerful resume too.
Thank you.
I can see your story through the struggle of an individual who refused to settle for nothing, who refused to accept the fact that he was born and raised, just like some people would say that you were born in poverty, you will grow and live in poverty and die in poverty. But you said no. You said no. And you beat the odds. And so now could you please explain to the audience, how did you come to frame your life into such a way that you overcome all obstacles to reach the pinnacle of where you are right now? Just a little bit.
Thank you, Dr. Ardain. I think you have been a very kind man. What I've read about you and what I've heard from our common friend, Ms. Das, that you are a kind man. And I can see that you have been very liberal in praise. Thank you so much. My journey, if I have to be very honest, I didn't plan to be whatever I am today now. But I did plan that I want to be very big. I don't know what was that big, what was that I wanted to be. I did not know much. I did not have the clarity then. But I also would like to resonate with the famous speech of Steve Jobs at the Stanford University, that he speaks about connecting the dots only when you are looking back. The backward connection is absolutely fine, and that is how you can actually relate with your success or your failure.
Okay.
Because looking ahead, you cannot connect the dots. But looking ahead, even though you cannot connect the dots, I think a couple of things that you can keep consistent is that you stay passionate, you stay hungry, and you keep looking for the doors. This is a very, very important part of your progress.
Okay.
Looking for the doors is nothing but you are creating your own opportunities. The opportunities, they don't exist. You have to create your opportunities. That means you have to be hungry. You will not settle for anything any day. Simple.
Okay.
Whatever you are, you always look for more. I mean, this is very important. And the way that you're keeping yourself within that more, because sometimes it is very easy to cross the thin line of getting into unethical way of more.
I got you. Yeah.
Unethical can be, stepping on the other heads and growing up, taking more positions, or manipulating people and then becoming something else. Or getting into ways where you could actually, earn money easily and then, become powerful. Your way has to be very, very clean. And the more you are helping the surroundings, you are actually growing better.
This is something that you say here as we're diving into the warring lands. You say something that really catches my attention greatly. You say the survival of the fittest is the ultimate truth. And you go on to say the weaker animal gets eaten and what is considered a natural food chain. And you say what happens when a good leader chooses to stand up to injustice and decides to have the weak stand up also for itself. And then at the end of the sentence, you say, warring is neither to win nor to prove strength. It's standing to the right to survive and the natural setup. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because warring is neither to win nor to prove strength. Because you know that lambs actually do not war. Lions do.
Yes. That's right, Doctor. I just narrated as to you have to stay consistent and be honest with your growth perspective. Similarly, the book is also talking about the leader should not tamper the natural setup. And also the roaring, whether it is by a lion or by anybody, is not a demonstration of your authority, your power, or your ability to tamper with the natural setup.
Okay.
Your roaring, even if you're a feeble, weak, helpless, despair animal or a person, your roaring has to be for the cause of survival.
Right.
Because your roaring is nothing but that you're standing up for your own survival. I mean, this is the nature of, whether it is in the law of nature or the jungle or anywhere.
Right.
You have to work hard for yourself. There's nobody who's going to create something for you.
Okay. Now, is that what you said over here on page 29 of chapter 3? You said that leaders emerge through extremes. You want to say that, in other words, you can start from scratch and you are empowered by the desire to move forward. That's what will ultimately propel you to the leadership of an organization or a movement or something. Is that right?
You look at the whole history of the world.
Right.
From the ages that we remember until now. Any great leader had always come up with a movement.
Okay.
They fought something, some bigger cause. They fought for a greatest cause that could be probably useful for the community, society, nation, their organization. You look at any leader, Abraham Lincoln, what did he do? And then you have many greats that Nelson Mandela, what did he do?
Right.
Why he became great?
Right.
Mahatma Gandhi, what did he do? They all have emerged from extreme situations.
Extreme situation.
And they did not become any great leader today. Steve Jobs has become, he has achieved that greatness because he has struggled. His life is filled with struggles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has ever slept well like we do normally.
Okay.
Because he is struggling to create something which is not a status quo.
Correct.
You see, Microsoft is always aspiring to become, we are competing with Apple, but Apple was competing what best that we can give to the consumer.
Correct.
So there is a massive struggle, and those leaders are emerged out of such struggles.
Uh-huh.
So we were talking about the leaders who have been given the mantle, like a prince becoming a leader is not a great deal for me.
Is it what you say when you say that greatness and fearlessness? So you need to be fearless in order to ultimately test new ground. Be bold in a sense in your thinking, and not afraid to meet challenges and fight to overcome them.
No, once you have the experience, once you have this experiential the leadership,
right,
that you have gone through odds, lows, and highs of the life,
right,
your ability to be empathetic becomes much more grounded, much more rounder, much more wider.
Okay.
Your ability to treat the people around you becomes much more civic, much more cultural,
mm-hmm.
more courteous. Because those who do not or did not have the experiences of, let's say, hunger, let's say the good facilities around, basic amenities.
Mm-hmm.
How can you ever explain them? How can you ever make them feel that this is how it feels like?
Mm-hmm.
You look at the history of, for example, I mean, since you're based in US, so I'm fond of American history because whatever America has gone through 100 years ago,
right,
most of the third world countries are going through that history now.
Right.
Most of whatever you have gone through 50 years ago, most of the second world nations are going through it now.
Right.
It is just the evolution. You are just quite ahead by 50 to 100 years between second and third world nations.
Mm-hmm.
Second and world nations are just catching up, but they are going through the same pattern.
Mm-hmm.
The disparities in the society.
Exactly.
If somebody is here, this person will never understand what it feels like to be here. If somebody is growing up from here, I think this somebody can actually, the ability to understand what it is like to be here. Much more, the profoundness comes, and then that can really help when they become the leaders.
Okay. Is that what you call that? You said bravery knows no bounds?
Bravery knows no bounds because unless you are ready to take risk,
mm-hmm.
you are not breaking the status quo.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Hence, the bravery, bravery is a relative term. How do you define a bravery? The word bravery.
Correct.
If I just save an ant from something else, I can't call myself bravery.
I like that, because most people will simply just crash an ant and move on, right?
So, bravery is a very relative term. It depends. It is actually it depends on the situation, the size of the event. But without one being brave, to fail, to be crushed, you are never going to create the new progress, the new development, the new invention. You look at all the scientists, they have been laughed at, starting from Galileo to your Thomas Alva Edison to Nikola Tesla to Marconi, who invented the radio. Everybody was laughed at.
Exactly.
These are crazy people. They were never social people, just like anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So the risk taking was so high that they are so much glued to the cause of, they wanted to do something for the society.
Mm-hmm.
They want to come up with some innovation which can be I mean, all those innovations you look at, without light, we are nobody. Without radio, we are nobody. Without TV, we are nobody. Without radio waves, I mean to say, I mean, the whole communication is stalled.
Mhm.
You have a leader called Malcolm, the guy who invented the containers.
Okay.
He has changed the entire trade for the world.
Mhm.
This guy he was a truck driver, but he came up with an innovation called the container.
Mhm.
The separable container from truck to ship.
Mhm.
These inventions, these people, whoever, in whichever walk of the life you take,
Mhm.
if you are not taking the risk of getting into the unknown, you are not making progress.
Listen, Sreedhar, let me ask you something. I know with such a compelling message that you have with you. So you do lectures, you travel to different places, even to corporations and universities also, you speak?
Yes, I do. I do speak. I've been speaking. I think last 5-6 years I've been speaking at.
Okay.
We also try to mentor the family businesses where the hires are being.
Okay.
Okay. And we are also helping the governments and organizations where they want some financial loans, cheap loans, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Some companies who either they want to divest or invest.
Correct.
So we are just doing sort of a consulting.
Okay.
Whether it is individual consulting or an organizational consulting or leadership consulting.
Okay, you do that too. Let me ask you something. Is that in your area in Dubai, also, are there a lot of small businesses that you also consult, your organization, your company consult?
Yes.
Okay.
Dubai, just because I'm here, I don't want to boast, but Dubai is one of the best places to live in.
Really?
One of the best places. And in terms of safety, this is probably top 3 countries in the world.
Okay.
I can open my door and sleep tonight.
Okay.
That I'm just mentioning, I'm just symbolically telling how safe is this place in terms of crime rate.
Mm-hmm.
One of the safest places. Now, why am I insisting or emphasizing on the safety is because the safety net, the broader it is, the people inside feel safer,
Mm-hmm.
and their juices of innovation,
Mm-hmm.
creativity becomes much more flourishing.
Uh-huh.
You know, the Simon Sinek, one of the American authors, always talks about the people have to be put inside the safety net.
Right.
This is the true leadership, to create that safety circle that he talks about.
Correct.
If you feel that you are in a safety circle, then your ability to perform to your potential becomes much more higher.
Correct.
Because you are not worried about anything, you're not stressed about anything, you're not fearing about anything.
Mm-hmm.
That is called safety circle.
Mm-hmm.
Hence, Dubai is a place where the leadership has created a safety circle,
Mm-hmm.
that there is safety, where people can thrive,
Mm-hmm.
explore opportunities, create opportunities. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of differentiation when a leader is creating that safety circle, and when leader is becoming very selfish and creating a throne for his own self or her own self, and not about the others.
Okay. Is there it's a melting pot also, I'm told, in Dubai. You find people from across the world living in Dubai.
We have 3 seasons, Dr. Ardain, that we have season 1 is hot.
Okay.
Season 2 is very hot.
Okay.
Season 3 is very, very hot.
So how do you thrive in such a very hot place?
Okay, except for the weather. I mean, okay, there is not much of outing unless it is winter. Winter, we have a couple of months. But then this place has been, people are accustomed to such environment. They have been living here for ages, and so they they somehow managed to live with this hot weather. But it is
You
not the
you
only.
were born in Dubai?
No, I'm born in India, but I
In India.
moved to Dubai some 20 years ago.
From 20 years ago. Okay.
So I've been working here ever since.
Yeah. So what made you decide to travel and to migrate to Dubai and make Dubai your home? Must have been something. Was that a business opportunity?
Well, I mean, this story is a little personal, but I must share it with you.
Okay.
The only leader that I look up to, the greatest leader in my life that I look up to is my elder brother.
Is who?
Elder brother.
Oh, okay.
My,
yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
My elder brother, and his name is BMR. So the company is named after him.
Ah, okay.
So because we belong to the, far below poverty line. Mm-hmm. So we didn't have the great basic amenities when we were growing up. So there were a lot of domestic issues. Mm-hmm. So this brother of mine has decided at that very early age that I want to keep my siblings in a fort, in a great place. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he always wanted. He dreamt that he wanted to keep this family in great comfort, which he has done when he has grown up. Mm-hmm. He has created an environment where his siblings have thrived. Mm-hmm. He has handworked each of the siblings, each of the cousins, each of his friends and the family. I mean, he's my role model. Okay. And I wonder, can someone be as selfless as this leadership? Mm-hmm. Okay, he is fortunately he's my brother, so I have been always living with him. I've been an apprentice under him. But how come a person with such a selflessness, and he always wanted his surroundings to be happy because he understood his happiness, the core reason of his happiness was surroundings are happy. Mm-hmm. So that because what is at the end, what do we need is the calmness within, calmness around you.
Mm-hmm. That's true. So, Sreedhar, you're so interesting. I feel that I can talk to because you're too motivational. I mean, every word sounds, resonates, I would say. And I'm so pleased to have you in the conversation. And let me ask you this. Any other book project that you have, that you're currently working on now, Sreedhar?
I'm currently working on a couple of abstract ideas.
Okay.
If you remember, James Cars has written a book called The Infinite Game. Mm-hmm. And then recently, I think that was in 1986. Mm-hmm. Now in 2019, Mr. Simon Sinek had written a book again, The Finite and Infinite Games. Mm-hmm. The same idea is that infinite mindset and finite mindset. Mm-hmm. Finite mindset is always, craving to win. Mm-hmm. Infinite mindset is always craving to sustain.
To sustain, and that's the difference. Hmm?
Yeah, so you win, important. The short-term goals are important. Mm-hmm. But your nature is not going to be altered because you want to win. Mm-hmm. In the beginning of my conversation, I told you, you want to thrive, but you have to thrive in a very, very clean manner.
Correct.
You are not resorting to any manipulative methods because that will actually spoil your integrity.
That's true.
Once your integrity is compromised, then you are no good for anybody. Mm-hmm. So the finite mindset is good as long as it is not resorting to those I have to win at any cost. No.
Right.
Because you have to perpetuate in the game. You have to sustain in the game. Your goals are very long, and because you're not only looking at you, but your company has to thrive for generations to come.
Correct.
Why do you think General Electric has survived so long, even though we had leader like Jack Welch? Many companies.
Right.
Many companies in US, Japan, there is a company called Gumi, which is still there for the last 1,560 years.
1,516 years.
60 years. It has modified several. Okay, it started selling paper. Now maybe it is selling something else.
but still exist. I
But
still manage to stay ahead of the curve.
Right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So one has to have such an approach towards life.
You know,
Keep clean and keep persistent with whatever that idea that you have, because your talent, approach, potential will not be of any use if you are not understanding the environment that you want to be in.
Right. And that's
the better
what
you decipher, the better you decipher this, then there is a great use of this talent, approach, and
okay.
And I hope our viewers of this
we'll learn a lot from that. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
hopefully.
You know, I have to invite you back in the conversation for the purpose of time. We could talk forever, Sreedhar, you know.
We will do that, Doctor, and it is my pleasure, absolutely. And thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
Your work is being appreciated by many people that I've read myself, and I'm very glad to be your guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So with that, I'm just going to say it's been such a pleasure, an honor to receive in the conversation author, prolific writer, motivational speaker, successful entrepreneur, Sreedhar Bevara.